Hey guys, so I'm finally making an update video for you about a year later. Sorry it took me so long. Life's been kind of crazy lately. And the good news is I've been feeling a lot better. So I'm not totally cured or anything. I still have symptoms that I have to deal with from time to time. But I would say I'm like 75% better and overall. So my last video, I believe it was a year ago, and I was doing some sort of motility testing, I believe. I can't remember what it's called. It honestly feels like ages ago. But at that time, I was pursuing all of the medical tests I could have related to my digestive issues to see what I could do. I was in a spot where I had gotten to a point with my insurance where everything was free for the rest of the year, so I was taking advantage of that completely. And if anyone else is, concerned about the costs, then I would say just like go for it. Just rack up your costs and get to your out-of-pocket maximum if you have one. Luckily, where I work right now, it's pretty low, so it's nice because it really doesn't take too long to hit that, depending on what you have going on. I had sinus surgery earlier last year, so it was kind of the catalyst for that because I quickly got to that, and then it was just like, well, I'm just going to do all the things that I can do because it'll be free. So I did a bunch of tests. They only found one thing wrong with me. Well, actually two things. I forgot. There's another one. So the dumping syndrome, which is a motility disorder. I was prescribed medication for that. The medication is actually an anti-anxiety medication, and that's primary use, but it also works to control that problem. I never tried it. I think I was kind of concerned, mainly because it is an anxiety medication, that is just how it would affect me, like mentally, and as well as physically, and side effects. I'm always a little cautious to take new meds, and I don't know, I never tried it. So I'm looping back around with my GI doctor and asking her to refill that, and I'm gonna try it because I think I need to. And I've been putting it off. I actually talked to my therapist about it, who I've been going to since last fall, and she highly recommended that I give it a shot. So I'm going to revisit that. So I guess it's probably like the last thing that I haven't done. So the other test I had, I think after the last one, was it's like a SIBO test, SIBO, and it's to measure to see if you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And mine tested positive. The test was probably the worst one out of all of them because it took so long. Like I had to carve out a whole day on a Saturday to do it. I had to fast the day before and follow a strict diet within the week before that, and so it was a long process, is why it was so bad. It was more just like annoying, and something I had to commit to lifestyle wise in order to do the test to make sure it was as accurate as I could get it to be. So yeah, that one was just annoying. But anyway, I tested positive for that. And because of that, I was prescribed a medication called Xifaxan. And it's typically pretty expensive. I was lucky because my insurance covered it in full, but it can be like thousands of dollars, I think, for a course of it. So I took that in like February-ish, maybe March. And I remember feeling really bad when I was on it. I think I was on it for like 2 weeks to a month or something like that. And then it was prescribed to me with another medication, which was an antibiotic, I believe. I think they were both antibiotics. Anyway, I don't remember what the other one was called, but I felt pretty bad during the time I was taking it. And I'm not sure if that was a side effect of the medication or like I was having an IBS flare for an unrelated reason or what was going on. I really don't know. I remember it being pretty difficult. I can't remember exactly the symptoms I had. I just remember feeling pretty bad for a while. So I finished that, and then I felt really good for a while afterwards. I want to say for maybe 3 or 4 months. I didn't have any IBS flare-ups. I had kind of more the normal like day-to-day issues that I deal with that are minimal, but I didn't have the really horrible like I'm nauseated for weeks on end and like I feel terrible and going to work is hard and doing everything is hard. I didn't have that at all until sometime in May, and I think it was stress triggered. I'm not really sure, but I had a trip coming up that I was a little nervous about, and I think that brought it on. So, yeah, I've been doing better. I don't have flare-ups nearly as often. I still can't really figure out what triggers them. I mean, stress kind of, sort of, but I don't totally believe that, and maybe I should. I suspect there's a few foods that are irritating as well, but yeah, sometimes it just seems like totally random. So the good thing about all of that is like my flare-ups aren't as bad. I don't get them as often. And I think that more has to do with the fact that I've been in therapy since about October. It's been helping me deal with my anxiety that's related to my IBS and just like general anxiety that I have. And I have some other issues that are like more or less fairly minor, but therapy has been helping a lot with coping and like relaxation techniques. And it's made it so I have a lot less difficult time dealing with my day-to-day or getting stressed out about, okay, if I leave my house now and I go and do this, like, am I going to have some like awful symptoms while I'm out in public? Like, I don't really think about that anymore. I do a little bit, but I just kind of like, I don't know, I kind of ignore it and dismiss it because I got tired of how it was kind of controlling my life. And so I think it's kind of like the attitude and the approach, and, the fact that like I have coping skills now to help me through those things when I'm having a bad time. That's really good. And they're not foolproof. Like, I mean, if I'm having a really bad flare up and feeling awful, like there's very little that I can do other than maybe like laying down and like, being at home that can make me feel better. And that just is what it is. And that type of thing, again, just doesn't happen nearly as often as it used to. It's more of like an occasional thing. So that's been really awesome. And what else do I have to say? Yeah, I think a moral of the story. So this is just my experience. But I would say definitely try therapy, even if you don't have, anxiety problems and other like mental health issues, or you don't think you need to go to a therapist. It could be really helpful. So I would say definitely something to explore and consider seriously, because I think it's made a big difference for me in like many aspects of my life. And I think I did forget, there was one other medication I was prescribed. It's meant to help with like spasming that I experienced if and when I'm experiencing it. I've only tried it a couple times when I had like severe symptoms, and I don't know, it made me feel kind of weird, so I might have to give it a shot again. For the most part, I don't feel like I need something so strong. Like for the most part, my day-to-day, I'm pretty okay, but I do have days or times where it just gets really bad, and I'll just like, I'm willing to try anything. So I'm not sure if I need to like give that a shot again, or if maybe I need to go back and talk to my doctor about that. Maybe a combination of both. like try it again a few times and see how it works for me. And then if it's not working, go back and talk to her about it and see if I can find something better. The specific medication, I think I mentioned it's an antispasmoidal, spasmoidic. So it's a muscle relaxer, but it only relaxes the muscles in your gut. So it doesn't really affect the rest of your body, but I just remember feeling kind of like weird and woozy on it. And it's actually intended to be taken throughout the day if needed. So like every couple of hours or like before meals. And theoretically it is a medication that is a daily medication, but from my experience with it so far, I don't see that working for me. And I also don't feel like I need it either. Again, it's only when I have like really bad flare-ups and stuff where I even like need or want anything like that. So yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'm not really at a point where I'm wanting to take any more tests. Like I said, I'm feeling a lot better overall. And this is probably something that I will have to deal with the rest of my life. But at this point, it's like not nearly as bad as it used to be. And like, I'm okay with it. And just kind of accepting it and learning how to like deal with that. Just like letting go is really helpful. So again, therapy is awesome. It worked really well for me. And it might work well for you too. So definitely try it. And yeah, I'm probably going to circle back around to my, GI doctor, talk to her about medications and things like that. And then I'm going to try the anti-anxiety / motility medication, and see, you know, how helpful that is as well. But yeah, so good news. I'm feeling a lot better, and, I hope you guys are, you know, finding help or finding things that are helpful for you or feeling better, not feeling worse. I know how bad it is, like being sick and, you know, the pain and like the embarrassment and like, I don't know, like the social stigma and, you know, dealing with all those things and the stress. It's really tough. And so like, you're not alone. Those are the people who've experienced it. And if you really make an effort and try to seek out help, that like things can get better. They did for me. I never thought they would. And again, like, you know, it's probably not going to go away, but it's way better. So anyway, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, yeah, if you have any other questions for me, let me know. I could do another follow-up video in another year, so let you know how those meds worked for me if you're interested. So yeah, let me know in the comments or messages. And yeah, I think that's all I got. Good luck to you all, and, you know, take care, and I hope that you're able to find like comfort in this, and that everyone out there who's having a hard time finds help and finds solutions to make it so life isn't so hard. Oh, and by the way, you're probably wondering, this right here is the Seattle skyline. So yeah, I thought I would put that in the background. I live in an area where I have a little mini view of it now, so I thought I would stick it in the video, because why not? So yeah, anyway, take care. See you guys. Bye.